How we going, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin, and we're doing another album review. And this is the second album from A to Z. Is it A to Z or A to Z? Who knows? And this is A2Z2. There you go. Is it in the corner there? Where to start with this? Right. So is it a super group? I know that's a bit of a blasphemous term for bands nowadays. They don't like being called it, but you know. The hat fits. So this is a new project. Well, it's the second album from a relatively new project. I didn't know anything about the group really. Just I managed to get an early stream of the album, and I saw it featured Ray Alder from Fate's Warning, and Ray Alder, I like him. So I'll just give it a bash and really enjoyed it. And around that same time, the band released a video for, which one is it? Nothing Is Over. And yeah, really got into it. So I've been listening to the album on and off for the last week or two, and really enjoyed it. And I went back and listened to the band's first album. And I ordered both albums, but for some reason, this one turned up. And when I checked on the A website, the other one isn't coming till the 23rd, so tough. Anyway, so yeah, we've got. Oh, it's okay to say supergroup. It says it on a hype sticker. There you go. So it's Ray Alder from Fate's Warning, Mark Zonda from Warlord, and was also in Fate's Warning. But we've got Philip Bino from Steve Vai, Nick Van Dyke from Redemption, Simone Maloroni, I think that is, from DMG, and James Wildall from Alcatraz. And I've just got a little write-up here from metalblade.com, which is what the album's been released on. And there's a few more bands here that they... So, yeah, Fate's Warning, Redemption, Steve Vai, Alcatraz, Ring of Fire. So, yeah, when you hear these bands, as the members of the collective have all played in all these different great bands and artists, you know this is going to be a good band regardless of the circumstances. And I've only just opened this myself, actually, so let's have a look at the book while we talk. This is just a really good album. What's the best way to describe it? It's kind of, take your mature sort of dad prog rock. There's not much really to it, really. But this is the album, and it's pretty much how I feel about Fate's Warning in general. Like, I think it's reasonable to assume that you're going to be a Fate's Warning fan if you listen to this. So is it a million miles away from Fate's Warning? Not necessarily. Certain aspects of Fate's Warning, but it's... Take sort of 80s Genesis or 80s Yes, when they weren't necessarily prog anymore and they did like catchy songs that were memorable, God forbid, that weren't 12 minutes long, Imagine that, but it's a rock band, or even I'd go so far as to say as a metal band. I mean, I think, it's not got quite the visceral edge that we demand from metal nowadays, but I think it would be quite easily labelled metal if it was released in the 80s. But yeah, take sort of progressive elements. You've got progressive elements in the songwriting, but the songs are quite simple in their formula. It's pretty much, verse, chorus, nice little solo, chorus, ring out every time. But there's progressive elements and twists and turns as the songs go on. So if you take, a bit of Fate's Warning, bit of Queensryche maybe, but the songs, they kind of jump around and mess around as the song forms, but then it always just slips into gear and gives you a big, open, epic, pummeling verse that you just can't help but sing into your brush to, it's... And the choruses just sing themselves, and it's like do you remember in the 80s, every action film had a song by Stan Bush. Or if you remember the Transformers animated film, you got the touch, Stan Bush, he sang all the songs. Well, this is like if Stan Bush made a rock album today. That's the best way to describe it. Like I say, take that little mid-80s period of Genesis, or maybe even the mid-80s sort of moving pictures to Power Windows era Rush. So it's still kind of progressive, still a bit widdly here and there, but the song is nailed down and the production is awesome, and it's got that big open wave sound to it. This is a fresh summer sounding album. It's a driving album, and some of the solos on it are just stunning, just beautiful. Like Wordless Prison, for example, pummeling drums on that one, beautiful solo, big giant chorus, and the solo reminds me of something Alex Lifeson would have played on those classic Rush albums. But Far Away is a great song opener, and Running in Place kind of, when you get like a 1-2 punch that opens an album where the songs just fit together. And it's like you hit the ground running on Far Away, but then they pause, like they go back a step or two, and then bring you into the album with the second track. And they do that seamlessly on Far Away and Running in Place. And then we get hit with what's looking like a single, or they did a video. Do they do singles nowadays? But they did do a video for this, Nothing Is Over. I mean, Nothing Is Over is probably the best track to check out first. I mean, when that kicks in, I'm caught in the mirror, caught in the middle, not caught in the mirror. But it's just, when it kicks in, it's just, Ray Adler's vocals are awesome on it. And he's an underrated vocalist, to be fair, Ray Adler. And sorry, not Adler. That's Chris Adler, isn't it? Ray Older, I apologise. Yeah, he's. I think he's getting his flowers now, actually. But yeah, he's a great vocalist, and with Fate's Warning is kind of how I feel with A2Z, and I get the album I'm always hoping to hear when I put on a Dream Theater album. Dream Theater are a band that just perplex me because they've got all the ingredients, they tick all the boxes. On paper, I should love Dream Theater, but I'm always just bored immediately whenever I've tried to listen to them. And I always go, why do I always worry about Dream Theater anyway? Because what I'm hoping to get from Dream Theater, I get that with Fate's Warning. So just enjoy Fate's Warning. And A2Z is kind of like that, really. And it's weird because I really like Michael Portnoy's other bands. What was that, Sons of Apollo? Yeah, I was a bit gutted that he went back to Dream Theater. I was quite happy with him in Sons of Apollo. And yeah, that's what A2Z is like, really. It's kind of like a progressive hard rock band that's verging on metal. There are some riffs, there are some sections. I Am Numb is a high energy rocker, for example. Don't tell me I Am Numb couldn't be a metal song if the band wanted it to be when played live. That's a fast song and there's some riffing on there. So yeah, the band can turn it up when needs be. But think Queensryche, in terms of heaviness. But yeah, there's loads of melody, loads of, great guitar effects and sounds. Mike, is it Mike Zonder? Or is it Mark Zonder? Sorry, I forget the guy's name. Just quickly look it up. Yeah, Mark Zonder, yeah. What? All over the kit. Fantastic drummer. But everyone on this is fantastic. Again, the guy, the everyone involved, their resume, who they've played for previously, speaks for itself. And yeah, sometimes you just want an album that just... Chaotic Sympathy was another highlight as well. That's nice and mellow and like a bit of a laid-back song. Learning to Fly is another great track. Great uplifting chorus on that. Yeah, it's 10 songs that just plays themselves. It's an effortless listen, and it's a great... it's going to be a great soundtrack to the upcoming summer. I think it's just a good song to just put on, you know, when you're feeling good, you know, and having a couple of drinks, or you're on a long drive and you've got a big open highway and you've got some good views. Put on A2Z. But check out both albums. Check out the one before this. The first album had a zebra on the front cover and there's a zebra on the back cover of this one, so I'm guessing the artwork is somehow linked. But yeah, this album's a breath of fresh air. And like I say, if you like big 80s choruses, big pummeling drums, great riffs, there's a bit of keyboards in there as well, that don't overpower the song. They fit in nicely. Sometimes when a band has a keyboard player, he kind of sort of elbows his way into the songs all the time, and no, perfectly balanced. And yeah, like those big choruses, big sounds of your 80s Rush, 80s Genesis with 80s metal guitar, i.e. Queensryche and Fates Warning. With big choruses that could be the soundtrack to Rocky training montage, you know. So I hope I've somehow done that justice. Yeah, this is looking. I'm going to be. This is going to be a fan. This is going to be a favourite for this year. I can see it coming along. It's we're in June now, and in 6 months, if this isn't in the top 10, if I hear 10 albums better than this, then we're in for a good year. So. Right, that's it for now. I'll catch you later, folks. See ya.